Okay, everybody. Oh God, I hope this works. I haven't done this in a while. Um, well, this is the Younes Lafdi traffic case audio, and I wanted to give everybody a warning, especially for those wearing headphones or earbuds. The judge is very low. The witnesses and attorney and Lafdi are pretty decent, and the video audio that they play into evidence is ear splitting. So please keep that in mind, and we will get the audio started here. And thank you very much. And the stuff that's scrolling in the background, because there's no video of this, is all the paperwork we have on that case that came from the court. So thank you very much, and let's get a move on.
Over in the jury box. Ms. Sandra Johnson, Ms. Kathy Winthrop, Mr. William Harwell, Mr. Shannon Runyon, Ms. Gloria Giles, and Mr. John Neighbors. All right. One more. Mr. Jason Hendricks. All right. Now, all right. The rest of you are excused. You can go to the front of the class, and any work excuses or anything like that, the rest of you are excused. Okay. Thank you so much for showing me today. Yeah. All right. John, stand. You're going to take another oath. Go ahead and raise your right hand. Do each of you solemnly swear in faith in the same all right. And yes. All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, by that oath, took its jury to have the position of the court and public administration of justice. It is your duty to listen to and consider evidence and law in this case and to obey all instructions given to you. As an intentional instruction, I now instruct you not to discuss this case among yourself until after you've heard all the evidence and the argument of both parties, and until I have sent you to the jury room to deliberate and consider your verdict. We're ready to proceed. Let me give you kind of a roadmap of how we're going to go on today. The prosecutor may make an opening statement, and the defense they may when at that time, or may do it later as well. The prosecutor may well offer evidence for witnesses, and the defense may cross-examine each witness. When the prosecutor is finished presenting the state's case, the defense may or may not present his evidence. The defendant is never required to prove his innocence. The prosecutor may cross-examine any witnesses. When the defendant is finished presenting the witnesses, the prosecutor may bring below witnesses, and the defense may also do the same. After both sides have presented their cases, is anybody know who will? Then let's get started. The Any opening statements?
Like me to read the charging instrument?
Yes, please do.
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I, the undersigned applicant, do solemnly swear that I have good reason to believe and do believe, based upon information contained in a written report prepared by Holman, David, City of Forney police officer, that Lafdi, Younes, hereinafter the defendant, on or about the 10th day of November 2021 AD, and before the making and filing of this complaint, in the territorial limits of the city of Forney, Kaufman County, and state of Texas, did then and there operate a motor vehicle upon a public street, to wit, the 300 block of North FM 548, and did unlawfully move the vehicle to the left or right on the roadway when such movement could not be made safe with safety against the peace and dignity of the state. Again, I'm Jenni, and this case today is about an accident that happened underneath 548. And what we're going to show to you today is that Mr. Lafdi and one of the witnesses were driving down the circus road, and they were coming to turn underneath the highway onto 548. There was also a very large flatbed truck that was in the right-hand lane. Mr. Lafdi and the witness were in the left. As they were turning, that flatbed truck was coming into the lane of the gentleman in front of Mr. Lafdi. Yes, that was various. Mr. Lafdi wasn't happy about that. As they proceeded, the gentleman in front of Mr. Lafdi had to slam on his brakes again, and at that time, anger arose. Mr. Lafdi will see in the evidence that Mr. Lafdi then came around to the side of one of the witnesses, the driver in front of him, revved up his engine, and pulled straight into the lane of the driver that was once in front of him and behind him, causing a T-bone accident. That is what we are going to have witnesses to testify. We have the eyewitness, we have the driver himself, and we even have the dash of Mr. Lafdi's here, showing exactly what this car was doing at every moment of the way. So I anticipate at the end of our trial today, our brief trial, that you will find that each of those elements I told you about in the diagram, that Mr. Lafdi on the day of 2000 was operating a large blue truck rapidly, and that he did move to the left or the right in an unsafe manner. Thank you.
Any opening statements? One thing, or do you want it?
No.
Okay. May I call your first witness?
Your Honor, I call Officer David Holman.
He's got a list of our programs. Lower your hand.
Good morning, Officer Holman.
Good morning.
Okay. And can you please state your name for the record?
Officer David Holman
How are you currently employed?
with the City of Forney Police Department.
How long have you been with the city?
Almost 15 years.
And what are your job requirements?
I'm a patrolman, basically patrol the streets, answer calls for service, investigate accidents, investigate crimes.
Okay, and so does that mean that you may be giving citations for things that happen within the transportation code?
Yes,
Okay. Were you employed with the city of Forney on November 10th of 2021?
I was.
And do you recall what shift you were working that day?
I was working day shift, basically 6A to 6P.
Were you also working on patrol that day?
Yes, I was.
Now, you've been here, you said 9 years?
No, almost 15
I
years.
apologize.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your background and training as far as being a patrol officer?
So as a patrolman over the 15 years, I've got approximately 16 years experience total. I've investigated numerous traffic accidents. I've gone to traffic accident investigation schools. And City of Forney works almost 1,000 accidents a year. So I'm pretty up to date on the laws and everything that needs to be done on accidents.
And in fact, don't you have CLEs like every 2 years that you have to recertify?
You know, I'm not sure about that. We train so much, it's hard to keep up with exactly how often that they recommend.
So on November 10th, 2021, you would have been on patrol at 10 a.m. Or excuse me, is this, I can't read what time this is.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you recognize the gentleman that's sitting next to us?
I do.
Okay. Is that in fact the driver of the vehicle on that day?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And Your Honor, the record please reflect that Officer Norman was able to identify Mr. Lafdi as the driver of the vehicle on the day of this accident.
The record will still reflect. Thank you.
Now, how did you come into contact with Mr. Lafdi?
I was dispatched to a accident through our police dispatch.
Okay. And what when you were on scene, what did you arrive upon?
So when I arrived up on, the vehicles had already moved off the roadway. The accident occurred on FM 548 under the U.S. Highway Bridge traveling south, and the vehicles had already moved to Broad Street, kind of to the right, southwest, I guess, southwest corner.
Okay. So in layman's terms, they were underneath, the accident happened underneath 80 on 548 going towards 1641,
Yes, ma'am.
and they cleared the roadway onto Broad,
Correct.
going towards next to the CVS.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so what did you do first?
I arrived on scene. As routine, we're pretty much going to be at the back for protection. Got my emergency lights on. As I exited my vehicle, the two vehicles were on scene. So I stopped short of the nearest vehicle for protection, and then just got out and immediately started interviewing people.
Who did you interview first?
Interviewed the driver of the other vehicle because he was closest to me and closest to my patrol vehicle.
And did he give you his account of what happened?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And after, did you ask for his driver's license and insurance?
I did.
Was that provided to you?
He provided me with his license as he was searching for his insurance. A lot of times when I run license plates, I'll automatically get it, but I go ahead and ask for it just in case the system is not updated correctly.
And do you see the driver of the vehicle in the audience today?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And can you identify him with an article of clothing?
Yes, I can. Middle-aged man back here with glasses, green shirt, blue jeans, facial hair.
Okay. And I don't know if you recall, but his name is Mr. Chille. Okay. So Mr. Chille, you get the information from him. What do you do next?
Next, I went to the driver of the other vehicle and to speak with him about his accounts of the accident.
And that, in fact, is Mr. Lafdi?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And what do you recall from that interaction?
Interaction, he started to tell me his story about the accident, and then he went on to say that he had actually had video of the accident.
Okay. Did you have a chance to watch that video?
I did.
Okay. How were you able to watch his video? What was the video of?
So he said he had video of the incident. I was like, okay, where at? He said, well, jump in my truck, I can show you. So I basically sat in the passenger seat, he sat in the driver's seat, and on his review mirror area, he was able to replay a front and rear camera that was attached to his vehicle that showed what had happened prior to the accident.
Do you recall what type of vehicle Mr. Lafdi was driving?
Yes, it was a blue F-150 Raptor truck.
And you would agree that that's a motor vehicle?
Yes,
And that area on Broad Street, is that within the city limits of Forney?
it is.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Officer Holman, I'm showing you what. present a State's Exhibit 1. What is this?
This is a flash drive of the cameras from my patrol vehicle, of the information, of videos.
Okay, so have you seen this before?
I have.
Have you watched videos that are?
I have.
Now, in fact, it has body cam, your body cam, and yours, standing there. Your body cam, your reaction cam, Mr. Lawson's action.
Correct.
And the, did you see any alterations made on the videos that you?
No, I did.
And your control car and your body cam are the equipment that needs.
Yes,
Okay, and were they in proper order?
they were.
How do you do that? Do you need any data to show what they're functioning?
We have body cameras and in-car cameras in case one has a glitch because they are computers. But daily, our cameras come off and on, and often we review those videos. And if one fails, the other one usually picks up. Yes, it would. It would be a blank screen, or it would give some type of error.
Any objections? All right, State one will be admitted, or excuse me, published. I would like to publish State's Exhibit. Go ahead and publish.
Officer Holman, I'm going to start with your body cam.
Really it here. Really it. Really it. When I'm in the area.
Your Honor, may I make sure that the jury is able to hear? Is everybody able to hear?
Where's the exact location at?
You send me for the same time.
When you show us out, we're going to be on Broad Street on CVS. Hey, what's going on, man?
You sent me for you.
Well, I was leaving Lawz and did y'all make contact?
Yes.
Okay.
I was leaving Lawz and I was in the intersection there. I'm not carrying right now.
Okay, here's this, buddy. I'm gonna need your insurance card, but anyway, go ahead and tell me. You're leaving Lawz.
Okay, leaving Lawz, about to turn underneath Highway 80, and there was a big tractor trailer on my right side.
Okay.
And we both started turning. The tractor trailer started creeping into my lane, so I put my foot on the brake.
Okay.
And this gentleman got upset and started honking at me. I continued on as soon as I could get around the tractor trailer, and then the tractor trailer kind of moved into my lane again, so I braked again. Well, he got mad again, he shot around me, and then he tried to cut me off, and he ran into the front quarter of my car, and his whole truck swung around in front of me.
Okay. All right. See if you can locate your insurance card. Address correct on driver license? All right, I'll be right back. What happened, man?
I have a video on the dash cam. I can show it to you.
Okay.
You wanna?
Well, tell me what happened. You got any weapons or anything on you?
No, I don't.
Okay, go ahead and tell me what happened.
I was at Lowe's and I grabbed some stuff and I was leaving, going to some more.
247, miscellaneous information, dispatch office.
In behind this gentleman right here, and he was an 18-year on the right side. So the 18-year was making a wide turn, and after he just stopped right, slamming his brakes, and he was like an emergency for me. My vehicle was like, hit it, like I had to brake. So I honked at him. Here we go.
There's another accident.
Yeah.
Just
He slammed the brakes.
Okay.
That's
Okay, so then what?
he slammed his brakes, and then
Okay.
like I switched lane again to the right side, and I'm like, seriously? And then I tried just to like go, and then he was coming close to my lane, and that's when he hit me. So,
Oh, okay. So, all right, let's go ahead and pull the video up and show me what happened.
It's in the document.
Okay, well, pull it, get it down. I need to see your driver license and insurance. So he hit you. Where'd he hit you at? How'd he hit you in the door?
Which lane?
Okay, so
217,
Drive.
I'll be clear from this accident, and I'll be out on another accident, be Broad Street, next to the medical center.
You want to come in the passenger side?
yeah. Forney copy 28. Disregard.
Drive.
Disregard 20. So all right, no, I'll let you do what you're gonna do here.
What was you going to ask?
I was gonna say I need to mainly see the part about, I get y'all both broke because of tractor trailer.
Yes, it's right here.
Okay.
Turn in right here. That's the 18 wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's him. I was on the right side. I put my blinker. I can make it bigger.
Oh, it's fine.
217, 40. You're the one's gonna be Adam, Charles, Victor, Robert, Charles.
And he slammed his brakes again. So
You're all over in his lane right now. Look at how you're back in his lane.
it's a wide angle.
Dude, you are all in his lane right there.
Sir,
All right, go ahead and rewind it
I
again.
have a backup camera.
Okay.
I don't know if he has anything.
Your left tire, we're over in his lane.
He was-
Okay, well, show me again. Yeah, because you pulled in front of me. Go ahead and play it again.
Gonna be Nate, Charles, Victor, Robert, Charles, Nate, Charles, Victor, Robert, Charles.
That's what I turned.
Okay, so your lanes are equal on each other's bar. It's up about an inch. Now you're changing lanes. Again, they're equal. So the camera's centered pretty well.
Yeah,
So-
the one in the back is.
So the camera's centered very well. Okay, so here's your lanes. You get over.
Charles, Gene,
Now look, look at who's in whose lane.
Thor, Charles,
You're all in his lane, man. Rewind it in 10 seconds. You're all in his lane.
I can't remember.
This time, Officer Holman, I'm going to present.
We can, when it's your turn for a student,
All right, so this is going to be what you are actually watching inside of Mr. Lafdi's dash.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم زي ده قماوير قبيلات دي جالوس
Safety warning message.
What's this?
So Officer Holman, you saw where Mr. Escachilla and Mr. Lofty are in the left-hand lane, and you see the long tractor trailer at the light.
Yes.
And then as all of those vehicles go around the curve, did you see Mr. Escachilla put on his brakes?
I did.
Why do you think he put on his brakes?
I believe he was possibly braking for the tractor trailer that was in the right lane that had their signal on, whether he's making a wide turn and hadn't turned it off. I don't know, and I don't know if that driver knew.
And is that a traffic violation?
What part of it?
For Mr. Escachillo to put on his brakes to stop the possibility
To
of him-
avoid an accident?
Yes.
No, it's not illegal.
Okay. Now, when Mr. Escachillo put on his brakes, did you hear Mr. Lofty rev his engine and honk at Mr. Escachillo?
Yes.
And as they continue to turn around the curve, does Mr. Escachillo brake again?
So it's hard to tell.
Do you want me to-
They broke, and then as he started to pass, I'm not sure if I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Mr. Escachillo put on his brakes twice.
Okay.
Is that correct?
I would have to watch it one more time to see. So he's applying brakes there,
Safety warning message.
God's sakes.
and then flat brakes there.
And after, both times, Mr. Lofty revs his engine to get close, except on the second time, he then comes around to the side of Mr. Escachillo. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And based on this dash cam, does it appear that Mr. Lofty then veers into Mr. Escachillo's lane, therefore causing an accident?
Yes, it does appear that way.
And that driving behavior constitutes changing lanes when unsafe. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did you give Mr. Lofty a citation after this?
I
stop?
did.
And is that the only citation you gave him?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And, Your Honor, would you please take judicial notice of the physical citation that's already in the file that was taken from Officer Holmes?
Court will take judicial notice of the citations in the court's file.
So after you file or give a citation to Mr. Lofty and it's an accident, are you then required to create an accident report?
I am.
How do you do that?
We use the crash reporting system through Texas Department of Transportation.
And within that accident report, do you identify both drivers?
I do.
And do you create a diagram of what happened or what you perceive to have happened?
Yes, I do.
Do you in fact have an end result of who caused the accident?
It's my opinion that it was Mr. Ladafi's, the main contributor of the accident.
Do you see the end result of the police report? Do you print it out?
I don't have it with me. No, I don't.
No, do you know what it looks like? What the
Um,
police reports actually look like when you've completed them?
oh, yes.
Okay, may I approach the witness, Your Honor? This is what I have marked as State's Exhibit 2. It's just from far away, it looks like a normal accident.
It does.
Now, as I give it to you, is that the actual accident report from that day?
Yes, it is.
Does this look like it's been altered in any way?
No, it doesn't.
The objections, Mr. Lofty? Phase 2 will be admitted.
Your Honor, I don't have any further questions for Officer Holman at this time. However, I would like to reserve for future testimony if needed.
Any questions, Mr. Lofty? Okay, this is your opportunity to ask any officer any questions. If you want to get the flash drive and the trial, this is your opportunity to ask questions.
Questions after we play the evidence.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
Can I ask the questions after we play the evidence?
Are you asking
I have also my own video. It's played differently than this one. We see the like more than we just watched.
Okay. Let's turn off that.
Your Honor, I haven't seen any of it as far as what's on its thumb drive there to verify its accuracy.
Come on up.
نتيجة استعمال حقيقي زي الطوابير قبل الإشعال الأصفر.
Safety warning message.
Not safe.
The truck was in front of me, man. Why did you brake? Why did you brake? What? Why did you brake? Because the truck was in front of me. It has its own lane. Into my lane, man. It has its own lane. Dude, he was coming into mine. Are you happy now? No, you're the one that's acting like an asshole. I'm not acting like an asshole. Dude. I had the blinkers. Swinging around me and then you try to cut me off. Fuck you, dude. Get the cops here, man.
رايح وشاد الزيز. أسس مامون. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I got hit and Forney, an intersection by Murphy Walmart.
By Murphy. Okay, is your car drivable?
Do what, sir? You're going to speak up.
How are you today?
Doing great.
Good. Did you notice in the video that the other driver was brake checking me twice?
I did see him apply brakes twice.
And did you know brake checking is illegal in Texas under the State of Reckless Driving Law, Transportation Code 545.401? This law defines reckless driving as operating a motor vehicle with a willful or wanton disregard for the safety of other people or properties. And brake checking generally meets the definition of reckless driving in Texas, as the driver intentionally hitting the brakes in retaliation against another display a wanton disregard for the driver's safety. Brake checking means a driver does not care whether he or she causes the following driver to crash onto the back of the vehicle. Did you know that?
I would have to see what you're reading from to verify what you're saying.
I'm pretty sure you can pull that. It's in the transportation code 5.401. And when the other driver was actually testifying to you, do you see the difference between the video and the testimony he did with you? When he said he left Lawz, he didn't leave Lawz. He was actually exiting the Highway 80 because the left lane, it's only like 50 to 100 feet from the exit. And he was behind the 18-wheeler. And I was observing the traffic coming from that side.
Your Honor, this is speculation. He doesn't know what the driver was.
I saw it. It's not speculation. It's the left lane.
Next question.
Yeah. Now, I would rather now watch the full body cam, Your Honor, please. And then I will have some more questions. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the relevancy of the remainder of the video as it has nothing to do with the accident itself.
It does because we want to see, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It does because we want to see the investigation, you know, because I didn't get a fair trial when he was judging me on the road. And we get to see that. Because the other driver lied to him.
Actually, you know what, let's take a break. During our speech document, and we'll go back in 15 minutes.
All right. Good.
Yes, please. All right.
So I'll pause.
Yeah. After brief consideration, I'm going to review the remainder of this video under statement of blind camera to reevaluate the objection by the state that the balance is prejudicial for prejudicial for the relative and also best relevance. When we bring the tree back in, if we can direct your questions as to other things, and then if we need to recall, and after a question, if it's admitted, then we can do that, okay? And explain it. Does that make sense?
If you have any other questions for Officer Holman, you can ask them now. And after the judge watches the video and we come back from lunch, then she can determine whether or not to show more video.
And then as to defendants, exhibit plan, tonight in addition, this time is the alteration. Granted state's objection to that, or state's objections. Okay, let's bring the jury back in. Is there anything else we need outside of jury benefits?
Jury already.
I just want to make sure we can have an open discussion.
All rise for the jury.
Lafdi, I'm going to ask.
A question to David Paul. How did you fail to recognize that the other driver was brake checking? Because that was obvious, especially in the second time. The 18-wheeler was already past the green light under the bridge, and it was no hazard, no anything. And so the question is, how did you fail to recognize that the other driver was actually brake checking instead of he can brake because there's a hazard or there's a red light or yellow light?
So I did observe the vehicle to apply his brakes through that area in that turn. I estimated y'all to be traveling less than 20 miles an hour.
We did actually.
Huh?
We did. The speed
Your
limit
Honor,
was
may
under
we
20
let
miles.
Officer Holman finish his answer, please?
So make sure he finishes the answer your question before you ask your next. Okay?
Sorry.
Just want to make sure you have a clean record.
So I did observe and apply his brakes. I estimated to be y'all were traveling less than 20 miles an hour. People brake through there all the time. So it's during that turn. So it wasn't, and that braking didn't cause an accident. So I don't know what else you're looking for out of that.
Didn't you recognize that it was intentional for him to cause actually an accident by brake checking? That's my question. It was intentional. It was not like, oh, something happened and he slammed his brakes. It was nothing in front of him because I am higher, I'm sitting higher in my truck and I can see everything. So even when we made the turn, the speed limit was the speed we was driving was between 20 and 5 miles per hour. And we can see it in the body cam again if we pause every time because I have the speedometer in the bottom. And when you said we shouldn't be traveling over 30 miles per hour, I agree with you. But to go so slow and be intentional to cause an accident, usually the 18-wheelers are slower than any vehicle, right? When they make a turn. But he intentionally did it. And you failed to recognize that. And I have another question to you. But it will be hard to prove it, so I just want to focus on that one. How you also said that I was traveling in lane 1 or lane 2, and the other driver was traveling in lane. We was both traveling in different lanes, but in that moment, I am the one who actually avoided the accident. I tried to avoid the accident because I can see what's in
Your
front of
Honor,
me.
is he testifying or asking?
No. I'm asking him the question because
So sure. At this time, though, we're just asking, if you have any questions about questions.
I don't have no further questions yet.
Sir Holman, do you believe that Mr. Escachillo was trying to avoid an accident from the flatbed? And that's the reason why he put on his brakes?
I believe that's possible, yeah.
Okay. And is that a traffic violation?
No, it's not.
Would you consider that intentional brake checking?
I would not.
And do you feel like Mr. Escachillo's behavior on the video was retaliatory in some way?
I do not.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any additional questions, Mr. Lafdi?
Yes, Your Honor. When you heard Mr. Escachillo and the video on the body cam right now, he said that the truck was in front of me, man. Did you see the truck in front of him?
So what I believe you're saying, I did see the truck. From what I believe you're trying to ask me, the tractor trailer was in front of him in a sense.
No. When we finished the turn, when we got to a complete, we finished the turn. And he said the reason he was explaining to me that the reason he braked because the tractor trailer was trying to come to his lane. How the tractor trailer came to his lane. Have you seen that?
The tractor trailer did not come into his lane in the sense that he's traveling in the same lane. when they're on the straightaway.
And then when he testified to you, he said that I was getting upset with him. Have you heard me being upset with him?
I don't believe that was.
It was. You didn't hear it? We can play it again.
So are you withdrawing your objection?
I withdraw my objection.
Okay.
What's the question again, sir?
The question is, you heard Mr. Scotia when we had that little argument. I was asking him, why did you brake? And then he was trying to explain that the tractor trailer was trying to come to his lane. And then when I said, thank you, he said, he started calling me names and stuff. But then he testified to you that I was the one upset. Do you still agree that I was upset when I engaged in the conversation with him, or I was aggressive?
So I believe I didn't watch the full video on scene. I didn't watch the full video after y'all made contact. Now, as I'm able to read it or watch it now, and then based on totality of everything, I believe that y'all both were, at the time of the accident, both had some emotions about y'all.
But do you agree with him?
Agree
do you
with-
agree that I was aggressive or I was mean to him anyway?
Do I believe that you were aggressive at the time y'all made contact? Is that your question?
Yes.
No.
Thank you. My next question is, when you said and change lane when unsafe, how long does it take to be traveling in a lane to be considered that I was traveling in that lane? Because we can see it took like less than 2 seconds for me to switch lane to avoid to hit him from behind to a collision.
So you can't change lanes and occupy that lane you want to go to if that lane is already being occupied by another vehicle.
But I was not trying to go back to that lane. I would. Okay. Okay. We get to discuss that later, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I have no more questions. No.
Okay, questions, Your Honor?
Did this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did he finally excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objection to being finally excused? Yeah. Not, okay. You have an objection to that? Okay. Then you can just hang around and we just call you back on this case. Yeah.
Okay.
Next witness.
Your Honor, I call Ricardo Escuchillo, please. Good morning, Mr. Escuchillo. Would you please state your name for the record?
Ricardo Escachia.
And were you traveling on the service road November 10th, 2021 at around 10 a.m.?
Yes, I was.
Okay. What were you doing?
That morning, I went to Lowe's to get some lumber. I had to repair a chicken coop at my house. I left Lowe's, the lumber side, which is pretty far back in the parking lot, and I routinely avoid the area by Chick-fil-A in the mornings because of all the traffic. So I went around, the auto parts place, O'Reilly's and
There.
AutoZone, and I entered the service road before the exit from Highway 80 onto the service road. And I was in the left lane, and I noticed the tractor trailer in the right lane. I knew that it was possible for that tractor trailer to make a short turn So I held back, and then when I saw that the tractor trailer was getting close to my lane, I put my foot on the brake so I wouldn't hit it.
So what happened after you put on your brakes?
I believe that the truck behind me started honking. I think that's what it did. It's kind of hard to remember, but I wouldn't have known that there was a truck behind me if it wasn't. And then continued the turn, and I could hear his engine revving. And then I applied the brakes again, and then he went around me to the right, and then swerved into my lane. His truck made contact with my car. His back left quarter panel made contact with my right passenger side door, and then as I was going forward, his truck swung around the front of my car.
So you recall the second time that you put on your brakes underneath the bridge.
Yeah.
What was your thought process at that point?
I don't even remember. All I remember was hearing him honk and then his engine revving.
After you made the turn under Highway 80, you hear the revving and that he honked at you. Which lane were you in?
I was in the left lane that goes straight, not the left turn lane. I was in the left-hand lane that goes straight. He moved over to the right-hand lane that was going straight.
At any time, did you move away from that left-hand lane?
No, I was intending on and continuing going forward, going home.
So Mr. Lofty, revs his engine, speeds up to get beside you. He comes around and cuts into your lane, or did you cut into his lane?
He cut into my lane. At the time, I wasn't sure if he was trying to go around to make a left turn to get onto Highway 80, or if he was just trying to cut me off. I don't know, but that's when his car made contact with mine.
And after that, as we've seen on the video, you exchange words.
Yeah,
all the time.
I was upset at the time because somebody just ran into my lane, and he, trying to remember, he started asking if I was happy. I guess that we got into an accident, and I was explaining to him that the truck was turning, it was cutting through my lane. That's why I was slowing down, and I did use some language, but I was upset.
So at the end of the video from Mr. Lofty's vehicle, what happens after that? Because he's calling 911, y'all are still in that intersection.
I called 911 also, explained what was going on, that I was just involved in an accident. They told me they were going to dispatch police officers there. At that point, I had calmed down a little. I'd stayed in the car. I didn't get out, but I had calmed down enough to where I got out of the car and told him, I was like, hey, let me back up, because my car kind of had his truck lifted off the ground a little bit because he was in the front, in front of my car. I was like, let me back up a little bit. We'll see if we can pull off the road to clear traffic.
And where did you go?
We went through the light at 548 and 80, and we turned onto Broad Street and parked behind the CVS on the grass.
So other than a little bit of heated exchange that we heard at the exact moment of the crash, the two of you didn't have any harsh words against or bad interaction with one another, did you?
No.
At any point, did someone, a witness, approach you?
Yeah. I think it was when I was on the phone with 911. A witness knocked on my window and opened up my door. She said that she saw everything that happened, that she would be willing to give a report to the police, but she had a doctor's appointment, so she couldn't stay. But I don't remember if she wrote down her name and phone number or if I wrote it down, but somebody wrote down name and phone number, and I gave it to the insurance.
Do you know Officer Holman? Have you ever met him before in your life?
No.
The witness, have you ever seen her before in your life?
No.
I have no further questions at this time.
Yes, Your Honor. Do you have a receipt from your purchase at Lowe's?
No, I don't.
That day, did you do like a paper receipt, electronic receipt?
I don't remember. I go to Lowe's several times a month. I don't keep the receipts for most of the stuff that I get.
Okay. By the way, you said that when we was in the collision that my truck lifted from the ground, correct? You felt it. You just said that. So,
I believe
do you
so.
understand that that truck weighs over 6,000 pounds and he had 3 adults, me and my dad and my mom. And with the speed we was traveling under 20 miles per hour, for that truck to be lifted and you hear the tire squealing, do you understand that's called a tip maneuver? And they are usually used by the cops to stop vehicles. And it's hard to believe when you have an accident with someone, usually you try to brake, right? But you said the truck was getting lifted. Why did it take so long for you to like brake at that moment when you was actually braking before that?
I was accelerating when you came around me, and because I was going through the light, and then when you moved into my lane, in essence, you pitted yourself because you made contact with the vehicle.
I didn't actually move to your lane. You did a pit maneuver. You hit my rear tire, and then you the one who was pushing me, and we can hear the 4 tires squealing. It's not. It's in the video.
Mr. Lafdi, again, you'll have an opportunity to present your case. This is an opportunity to ask this witness any questions.
I try to make them so simple because, you know, my English is my 5th language and it's hard for me to understand sometimes things. And I appreciate, you know, when someone explains things to me like that.
I understand. I just want to make sure that you're asking questions. Okay, so if you have any questions to ask.
Do you remember what speed you was driving that day?
No, I
How
don't.
fast you was going? Did you was able to see it in the video?
Yes.
The date and time, it's been already right here. We watched this video again. Speed never like above 20 miles per hour. And it said the engine was revving. That's the performance truck. That's not regular. And it has over 500 horsepower. So for the engine to be revved, especially in low gear and low speed, it's in low gear because it has 10-speed automatic. And it's already loud without even me hitting the gas. But my question is, if we watch the video, will you be able to get some memories back? Better ones?
I can see what's on the video.
But do you also recognize that's brake checking and it's illegal in Texas?
I'm like I said, the officer said before, I don't think that I was brake checking you.
No, but it is. The definition of brake checking is when you don't care about other driver safety. You know, let me give you an example. You said you heard a honk, you don't remember. You maybe didn't even see me, you just said. I mean, that's a big truck. That's a wide, big truck. It's blue. It's parked right there in the front of the court right now. And for you to say, I didn't pay attention, you don't remember why you slammed your brakes, that doesn't sound like very good for you right now.
I didn't realize that you were behind me until you started honking and I could hear your
That makes you
engine.
unsafe to other drivers. Do you recognize that? Do you recognize that makes you unsafe to other drivers? If I'm not safe, like let's say for example, my sugar is going down, I'm diabetic. I use 3 insulins. If my sugar is going down, do you think I will be driving, or do you think I will try to pull over because my brain is not functioning properly for me to say I'm safe for myself and for others? Because when you don't pay attention while you're driving, you are a risk and you make other people at risk. Do you admit that? If you don't pay attention, do you admit that you put people in risk and you put yourself at risk?
I would say that anyone who is not paying attention while they're driving, yeah, would put other people at risk.
I'm glad we can agree on that. And like I said, with brake checking, I was telling David Holman about he slammed his brakes. Like I said, English is my 5th language, and I apologize if I can even express myself very well for you. But when I did my research and I Googled things, it's called brake check. You know, if I just knew how to speak to David Holman, I could switch that where he was actually attacking me like I was the bad guy.
Your Honor, it's not.
Sustained.
Just your own.
Without question.
When we was in collision again, how long it took for you to slam your brakes in that moment? Because what happened, if you we can watch it. Did your car turn off? Did your engine turned off in that collision?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Did the engine turned off?
Did my engine turn off? No, not
Because
until we came to a complete stop. I turned the engine
Because
off
my
myself.
engine turned off. When I lost control and we got to that complete stop, my engine turned off. So my question again is, when you was hitting the gas, how long it took you before you said, I'm gonna brake, I'm gonna hit the brakes?
I don't know. As I said, I put my foot on the gas to go through the light, and then your vehicle made contact with mine and swung around. I don't know how soon I put the brakes on.
Mr. Scotia?
I'm sorry?
Do you drink?
No.
How did you feel that day? Did you had anything to
felt
eat?
fine.
Did you was sick?
I don't recall if I had breakfast that morning, but I was not sick.
Okay, because when you said you didn't pay attention, that to me is more dangerous than someone that's actually sick.
I don't believe I ever said that I wasn't paying attention. I said that I didn't know that you were behind me until you started honking your horn and revving your engine.
And I appreciate you said that, because the reason I honked at you, because when you slammed your brakes, that's why we have honks, so we can alert other drivers, you know, like.
Sustained. Mr. Lafdi.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm trying. I also have a question for you. So, do you know the definition of reckless driving?
No, I don't.
You are the definition of reckless driving.
Your Honor.
Sorry, Your Honor. I have no further questions for now.
I have no further questions.
May this witness be kindly excused?
Yes.
It can be kindly excused.
He can. I still.
All right. It is 11:53. Why don't we break for lunch?
I believe the last witness is going to be very brief. I believe so.
Are you okay with that? No. Are you good with doing one more witness?
Think so, yes.
All right. Let's go. Honor, I call Ms. Gladys Saldana. Please solemnly swear or affirm that you will be
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Would you please state your name for the record?
Gladys Saldana.
Now, have you witnessed all of the trials so far?
Yes.
So can you testify that you were actually on the road in this proximity on November 10th of 2021?
Yes.
Okay. What were you doing that morning at 10 a.m.?
I was on my way to an appointment and I was traveling south on 548 on the left lane. There was a blue truck in front of me and a white SUV
I'm sorry,
on the
I can't hear
left
you.
side.
I can't hear her.
Can you make sure to speak into the microphone?
Sure.
Okay. What drew, okay, just continue.
So I was on the
No,
left.
Can she repeat, please, Your Honor? I didn't hear anything she said. It's hard for me to hear.
Speak a little bit louder. We'll
Okay.
start over on where you, from the very beginning of where you were at and where you're going.
Okay, I was traveling south on 548. I was going to a doctor's appointment. There was a blue F-150 in front of me, and there was also a white SUV to the left of me.
Okay. What happens next?
I see the blue truck merging into the left lane.
Do you recall if you had a turn signal on or not?
No,
Was there enough room for that blue vehicle to merge into the lane beside you?
no.
Can I just repeat what she just said? You said you was traveling in the left lane and it was an SUV in a F1 Blue 50?
I was on the far left lane. Your vehicle, the blue F-150, was in front of me, and there was a white SUV to the left of me. To the right of me, I'm sorry.
So basically we was traveling, all of us in the same.
Yeah, you'll have an opportunity to ask her questions.
I'm just trying to be clear which way of the road she was traveling.
Okay, and you can ask the questions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you have the blue F-150 that you've seen in this video. the
Correct.
Raptor, in front of you, and you see it merge into.
The left lane.
Okay. And did you see an actual accident occur?
Yes.
What happened after the accident?
I stopped to make sure that both of them were okay. I could hear a lot of yelling. What I did was write down my phone number and my name, and I walked over to the white SUV and I knocked on his window and gave him my contact information and told him that I witnessed the accident.
And what did you do after that?
I left because they both had called 911.
In your opinion, from what you observed, do you think that the white SUV had anything to do with the accident?
At the time, no.
Okay, at the time, not based on what you've seen and
Correct.
evidence. And again, based on what you saw, you didn't think that there was enough room for the blue truck to merge into the left-hand lane.
Correct.
And is it your opinion that the blue truck caused the accident?
Yes.
No further questions.
May I have an opportunity? Any questions, Ms. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Do you know Mr. Scotia, what he does for a living?
No.
You said I was in front of you and the white SUV. And my question is, did you saw him brake checking?
No.
You said my engine revved. Did you hear that the truck was
No, sir, I did not say your engine revved.
Okay, because it said in the report that the witness said that the engine was revving. Did you read it? We actually, when I called 911, when I was on the phone, I was able to see you. You actually made a U-turn and you parked on the left and the right side under the bridge between the shoulder of the right side, and you was actually blocking the lane, and people was actually honking at you because you're the one who was actually blocking the traffic more than we did. Do you remember that?
I did make a U-turn, but I had a green light, so I wasn't causing traffic.
You know, I have a dash cam and it records the front and the rear. And the vehicle that was behind me, the only vehicle that was behind me was actually a truck, another truck.
No, sir, I was behind you. I was right behind you.
Do you have a dash cam in your car?
No, I don't.
You the one who was driving a Toyota, a gray or silver Toyota, right?
Silver Toyota.
And when you came out of your vehicle to talk to Mr. Scotia, didn't you know that you actually, you can be in danger too by doing that? And when there's an accident, you're supposed to park away.
I did. I pulled off as far as I could, and I put on my hazards.
I don't have no further questions.
No further questions.
May this witness be finally excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
She may be finally excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we are.
Your Honor, we have no further witnesses.
So let's break for lunch, and everybody can be back here at 1 o'clock. Everybody at 1 o'clock. And then we will start with court case. Okay.
All rise.
If I can get that video, I will watch it. The remainder of it during lunch.
Please for lunch.
All right. Let's see. Let's go. Yes. Thank you. Because I'm a teacher.
I get bored of this. For some 6 years, Jesus.
All right, thank you. All right, everybody got lunch? Good, good. All right, so right before lunch, we say yes, Mr. Lafdi, if you want to go ahead, if you have an opening statement, or we'll play first witness.
We can play the video, just can play it straight.
Okay, it needs to come in through a witness. So are you asking to recall Officer Coleman? Yes. Okay. Officer Coleman? You are still.
Yes, Judge.
All right, go ahead, question.
Questions before.
How you would like to do it, you would want to do it.
Yes, please.
Do you mind putting the objection and you overruling it on the record?
I think that's what.
Oh, was it?
Proper. We were on, no, but did the conversation was that on the record? Okay, it was, that's what I asked. All right, yes, if you, it's your witness, if you want to show the video or ask questions.
I just want to make sure, can we watch the video and ask a question at the same time, or we have to do one?
We can watch the video, just let, this
Tell me when to stop and start and stop.
Okay, we'll do that. Do you want to start at the beginning, or what we, oh,
Yes, we can start from the beginning.
okay, and it's the body cam video.
Where they at here? Where they at? Where they at? Forney, I'm in the area. Where's the exact location at?
Do something for the same truck.
Forney, show us out. We're gonna be on Broad Street behind CVS. Hey, what's going on, man?
Do something for you.
Well, I was leaving Lowe's and,
Did y'all make contact?
yes, I
Okay.
did. I was leaving Lowe's and I was in the intersection there. I'm not carrying right now.
Okay, here's this, buddy. I'm gonna need your insurance card, but anyway, go ahead and tell me. You're leaving Lowe's.
Okay, leaving Lowe's, about to turn underneath Highway 80, and there was a big tractor trailer on my right side.
Okay.
And we both started turning. The tractor trailer started creeping into my lane, so I put my foot on the brake.
Okay.
And this gentleman got upset and started honking at me. I continued on as soon as I could get around the tractor trailer, and then the tractor trailer kind of moved into my lane again, so I braked again. Well, he got around again, and he shot around me, and then he tried to cut me off, and he ran into the front quarter of my car, and his whole truck swung around in front of me.
Okay. All right. See if you can locate your insurance card. Address correct on driver license? All right, I'll be right back. What happened, man?
I have a video on the dash cam I can show it to you.
Okay.
You wanna?
Well, tell me what happened. You got any weapons or anything on you?
No, I don't.
Okay, go ahead and tell me what happened.
I was at Lowe's and I grabbed some stuff and I was leaving going to some college.
247, miscellaneous information,
That's laying behind this gentleman right here. He was an 18-year on the right side. So the 18-year was making a right turn. And after he just stopped the stoplight, slamming his brakes. And he was like an emergency for me. My vehicle was like, hit it. Like, I had to brake. So I honked at him. Here we go.
There's another accident.
Yeah. Slammed their brakes.
Okay. Okay, so then what?
He slammed his brakes and then
Okay.
like I switched lane again to the right side and I'm like, seriously? And then I tried just to like go and then he was coming close to my lane and that's when he hit me. So,
Okay. So, all right, let's go ahead and pull the video up and show me what happened.
it's in the document.
Okay, well, pull it, get it down. I need to see your driver license and insurance. So he hit you. Where'd he hit you at? How'd he hit you in the door?
Which lane?
Okay, so
Do something for you. I'll be clear from this accident. I'll be out on another accident, Beef Rock Street, next to the medical center.
You want to tell me the passenger side?
yeah. Forney copy 28. Disregard. Disregard 20. So all right, no, I'll let you do what you're gonna do here.
What was your you can ask?
I was gonna say I need to mainly see the part about, I get y'all both broke because of tractor trailer.
Yes, it's right here.
Okay.
Turn in right here. That's the 18-wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's him. I was on the right side. I put my blinker. I can make it bigger.
Oh, it's fine. I'll
Do something for you. You're the one's gonna be Adam Charles, Victor Robert Charles.
And he slammed his brakes again. So
You're all over in his lane right now. Look at how you're back in his lane.
it's a wide angle.
Dude, you are all in his lane right there.
David Holman. You said I'm all over his lane. Did you see actually my tires being in his lane, or you just actually determined that through the hood, the way my truck looked in the road, or in the video?
Yeah, I don't believe the video shows your physical tires. I was just using the cameras being centered in the vehicle, the margins of the vehicle being on each side of the camera, and then those margins moving as how I determined that you went into the other lane of travel.
So I don't want to use any wrong term, but is this like just you expect in your head that I was in his lane, but you cannot prove it that I was actually in his lane, correct?
Well, the video shows you travel into his lane. You can see the lane markers, the dividers, and your vehicle travel over that divider.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and rewind it
I
again.
have a backup camera.
Okay.
I don't know if he has anything.
Your left tire were over in his lane. Okay, well, show me again. Yeah, because you pulled in front of me. Go ahead and play it again.
That's my lane tire.
Okay, so your lanes are equal on each other's bar. It's up about an inch. Now you're changing lanes. Again, they're equal. So the camera's centered pretty well.
Yeah,
So-
the one in the back is.
So the camera's centered very well. Okay, so here's your lanes. You get over. Now look, look at who's in whose lane. You're all in his lane, man. Rewind it in 10 seconds. You're all in his lane.
Just confirm you need record for one.
Yeah, look, you're in his lane. All right, I need to see your proof of insurance.
Slamming in his brakes twice like that is okay?
Dude, he has to stop. Who's been drinking? You been drinking? I can smell alcohol. Okay, look, he can stop. That's all there is to it.
Okay,
I need to see your proof of insurance, and I gotta get everybody's information. I need to get your insurance, and then I gotta get everybody your information in your truck. You still live in Box Springs?
No, I live in Forney.
What's your address?
9452 Brownie Stone White.
What's your telephone number, sir?
972-795-4193.
Do what now?
I think you seriously actually he was drinking, you smell alcohol.
Look, I can smell alcohol over in this side.
You can hear that? He said he smell alcohol.
What's funny?
The cop is telling me he smells alcohol over this side.
Okay, hey, go ahead and get off your phone. Hey, get off your phone right now.
My wife just sent me the insurance.
Get off your phone.
But my wife just sent me the insurance.
3620, send me another unit. Hey man, get your hands out of your pocket.
Did you feel any threat when you asked me to put the phone down? Or you just felt that because you told me to put the phone down, I have to put the phone down?
So did I feel threatened?
Yes.
For officer safety, I did put you in handcuffs. Yes, sir.
I understand officer safety is basically Terry versus Ohio, but in order for that, you have to articulate a reasonable suspicion before you detain someone.
Yes, you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What was your reasonable, articulable suspicion for that detainment?
Because you were argumentative and weren't obeying my commands.
I was argumentative.
Yes.
I was trying to have a conversation where you was talking over me many times and I was quiet and I give you your chance to speak and I was hoping that you can give me my chance to speak as well. Then you said you smelled alcohol on me and you smelled it in the truck. That's twice. So that gives you the reason to detain me? I just want to confirm if it was the alcohol or if it was officer safety.
It was it was for officer safety, but it wasn't the odor of alcohol while you were put in cuffs. It was because you weren't obeying commands. I'm working by myself. I asked you multiple times to get off the phone. It's because you weren't listening
But
to what I was asking you to do.
But do you know you can ask and I can just refuse to? And
Yes,
that's it?
sir. Yes, sir.
So you just violated the Fourth Amendment when you did that? Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not aware of violating any Fourth Amendment.
I can read it to you so you can have an idea. The Fourth Amendment is among the most sacred safeguard of individual liberty embedded in our Constitution. The amendment reads, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized." You never heard of the Fourth Amendment?
Oh, I have. I have.
Okay. That's what, you just violated the Fourth Amendment. We can continue.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pat you down for your safety and my safety, okay? Because you're not listening to what I'm telling you. Any weapons or anything on? Hey, dude. What are you doing?
We go back, and I want everyone to pay attention in this part right here. When Mr. David Holman was saying, "What are you doing?" When actually my hands was behind my back. He has two hands in one arm. Doing this to my fingers, and the other hand is holding here. And then he's telling me, "What are you doing? Stop resisting." I want you to pay attention to this part because I was not moving or doing anything for him to say that. And he actually raised my arm behind my shoulder.
Your Honor, is there a question here? And also, we're getting pretty close to being off topic of what we're here today. So I object to relevance and to testifying.
Okay. Same thing, we've discussed this. This is not your opportunity to ask questions, not to testify. If you're going to argue something, you have the right to do so. If you want to make any closing statements to which you want the jury to pay attention to, you can do that as well. But we are here just for this citation on the traffic violation. Okay, that's what the jury's here to decide. So let's ask questions regarding the citation of the traffic violation, okay?
I understand, Your Honor, but it's a process for his investigation because I told him that in the video. I said that I was trying to help you with your investigation. I answered every question he had for me, and he said I was getting aggressive.
Your Honor, this is not into evidence yet.
It is. He was in the truck.
Let's go ahead and ask your questions.
We can watch, and then I will ask the question.
Hey, don't yank away when I'm trying to pat you down. I don't know if you're armed. Do you understand that? Keep your hands behind your back. Hey, quit pulling.
No,
Quit pulling.
I'm not moving. I'm moving.
Are you armed? Are you, huh?
Diabetic.
You're diabetic?
I'm not getting back right now.
All right.
This is the first time.
Okay. All right. All right. So you're diabetic.
Okay, you can check my pockets. I have.
Look, I can smell something, and it could be that you're diabetic coming from your lungs. I don't know.
I haven't eaten.
You said it could be your diabetic coming from your lungs. I want you to explain to me a little bit. What do you know exactly about diabetes?
So based on my experience, I don't have diabetes myself, and I don't know the ins and outs of it. But I do know that some diabetics will emit an odor from their, I say lungs, from their breath, that it kind of has a sweet smell. And then sometimes that kind of will mimic the odor of an alcoholic beverage. And then just through investigations, you you kind of rule that out if it's actually intoxication or if it's actually a diabetic issue.
And can I ask, how did you learn this information? Like, did you read about it? Did you learn it at school? Did you watch some video someone told you?
Yes, we go over it in our training.
So you know the difference when a blood sugar is high and low? I mean, that's what happens. When someone is diabetic, their blood sugar goes high and sometimes they goes low. Do you know the difference?
Like what the symptoms are?
What's the difference between a high blood sugar and a low blood sugar?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
So diabetes, the condition of diabetes is your blood sugar goes high and your blood sugar goes also low sometimes. So they are both dangerous. So you have to sustain it in a normal range or you're going to be in a bad health. So the question is, when you said you heard or you know the diabetes have a smell of alcohol from their lungs, is that the only information you know about diabetes, or do you know a little bit more? Like, what's the difference between high and low?
No, I don't know much more than what I explained.
Just the smell from the lungs?
Yes.
Okay.
I have seen diabetic episodes where people were incapacitated, where they can't talk or anything. I have seen those. But as for the technicalities of it, I don't know.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Well, you're not doing what I'm asking you to do. If you have anything that's going to hurt me,
You can check. I don't have
20 shillings.
It's gonna hurt you.
Okay.
It's gonna hurt you. I had a pocket knife, but I think it's in the truck.
Look, when police are trying to pat you down for weapons, you don't yank away. So do you have a needle on you?
This is the first time.
Do you have a needle on you?
No, sir, I don't have any needles.
Okay.
Needle in my belly, though.
You have a needle in your belly?
Yeah, that's how I check my sugar. You can throw my t-shirt off if you
Okay.
want to look at it.
Okay. So where's it at?
It's on the right side.
Right side?
Yeah.
Like where at?
You can pull
Down here?
It's in my abdomen.
Your abdomen?
Yes.
So you're diabetic?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Man, you don't yank away when I'm patting you down for weapons, and then I'm telling you to get off the phone. You don't want to listen to me. You're not listening to what I'm telling you to do. I want you to stay right here, and I'll be right back, okay? Okay, look, when I tell you to get off the phone, just get off the phone, okay?
Well, you took it.
Hey, just be quiet. Your best thing to do right now is just be quiet, okay? And relax.
Thank you.
3620, what unit's going to my location? All right. Yeah. I'm going to get my work phone and text it to you. Nah, I'll just take a picture of it, buddy. It'll be good. All right. And then I'm going to get your telephone number. Hey, you still live?
Can I ask you, like, this driver right here, he told you he was, what was it called? The license to carry, right? LTC?
Yes.
He said he was licensed to carry. You didn't feel no threat or officer safety that he needs to be detained or search his vehicle if he has a gun?
So what's the question?
The question is, what about this driver right here? What happened to officer safety? Does officer safety applies only to me? Or
That gentleman's still in the car. He was 100% cooperative.
He was 100% cooperative. That's why you called him buddy. I'm just trying to know.
Sustained.
Okay.
What's your next question?
We can play the video.
Okay.
Thank you.
On Mustang Service. All right, what's your telephone number, sir?
214.
Yes, sir.
597.
Yes, sir.
1071.
Okay.
I have the number. A lady, when it happened, a lady, she had to go to a doctor's appointment, but she said she saw the whole thing.
Okay. I would definitely keep that for your insurance, because your insurance is going to ask about it. Okay. 3620, copy 228. Forney, Unit 1, Mary Tom Mary 4416, Mary Tom Mary 4416. The second one, Lincoln Paul Robert 3527, Lincoln Paul Robert 3527, copy 227s.
Right.
Driver Unit 1, it's going to be Texas 41112676, 41112676, white male, unpronounceable last name, check.
Right.
Second subject, driver Unit 1, no correction, Unit 2, driver Unit 2, Texas 03894563, 03894563, white male, unpronounceable last name.
Thank you.
It's 52, what's your 20?
North Service Road, 548.
Okay, well.
Two 27, 28, 29, all correction clear, insurance is confirmed on both vehicles. And for 43, a driver of Unit 2 is going to have an active license carry.
10-4. Hey man, so this guy, he's being more cooperative now, but I had to pin him up, put him in handcuffs because I went to pat him down. He wasn't listening to what I was telling him to do. Pat him down, he started yanking away from me. So I grabbed him, and then he tells me he's diabetic and he's got a needle in his pants. It's down low, but
You just heard, you told Officer Smith that I had a needle in my pants. Did I say that I had a needle in my pants, or did I say I have a needle in my abdomen? Do you recall?
Yes, that's what you said.
I said my abdomen, but you admit that you just lied to Officer Smith?
Well, when you say needle in my abdomen, I'm thinking syringe in your waistband is what I believed you were referring to at the time.
But there's a difference between a needle and a syringe.
You're right. There is. Well, it depends. I mean, how technical you want to get, but yeah. But typically, the people that we encounter on the streets that have needles, it's usually a syringe.
But you just said that I had a needle in my waistband, and I didn't say that. I said it was in my abdomen. Do you admit that you just lied to Officer Smith, or you just made a mistake?
I did not explain it to him the way you explained it to me. I explained it in the terms that we typically deal with. Abdomen, there's really not much distance between your abdomen and your waistband. I mean, you're talking about a couple inches. So to simplify things, yes, I did tell him that you had a needle in your waistband, which you did say needle in your abdomen.
And when you did your officer safety and you put me down, right? And when you asked me, I said, I have a needle in my abdomen. You said, where? And I said, it's the right side. And you said, where? And I said, it's my abdomen. And he was pulling my clothes, so he was able to feel it. Did you feel it?
No, I don't remember feeling it at that time because I'm looking for a syringe. I'm not feeling for a diabetic device that is used for diabetes. I'm not searching for that. I'm searching for a syringe.
Okay, we can continue. Thank you.
I don't know anything about being diabetic. But there's two other occupants in the car. This guy was driving real aggressive. Yeah, pretty much. Yep. And he literally ran this vehicle off the road. he's got video of it. He showed me video, and you could see them all in the lane. So witness saw something. This guy told me the story. The video shows the whole thing. He got mad because this guy hit his brakes going underneath the bridge because of another tractor trailer. And then you can see him all in this guy's lane and force this guy, try to force him off the road, and their whips in front of him. So this gentleman in handcuffs right here by the tailgate, it's going to be this guy. But he wasn't listening to what I was telling him to do. I said, get off the phone. He wouldn't get off the phone. And then he's got, yeah, I don't know if they speak English or not, but I got to try to get their information. But this guy had everything on video. He's got a rear camera and front camera of his truck. And he goes, oh, I got it on video. And he showed me. And I'm like, you're all in his lane, dude. You're all in his lane. He's absolutely very aggressive. The other witness, says he read it up real loud underneath the bridge, and then you can see him force this guy off. So I don't know anything. You know anything about being diabetic? Why would he have a needle in his waistband? I don't know. I mean,
it's there on him, but I don't know why he's out there.
Well, when I went to pat him down on this side, he starts to pull this hand, yank this hand. I had both arms up behind his back.
Might not be.
Huh?
I know.
Well, you're right. Because he starts to yank his right hand. I got another grip and pushed harder and said, hey, don't be yanking away from me. And so then I went ahead and put him in handcuffs at that point. And then he's like, okay. And then I told him, just be quiet, dude. Just be quiet. So I don't know why, as I'm patting him down, he's also LTC. He starts to yank.
Just mentioned to Mr. Smith that I was very aggressive. And at the end here, you just said that I'm also LTC. And if we rewind the video just like 3 minutes before, 3 minutes, the dispatch confirmed that Unit 2 is LTC and I was normal. Do you remember, like, what? I mean, I just want to ask, the question is this a mistake? Like, how can you, because you said that you've been in law enforcement for 15 years. You've been doing this, investigating crimes and accidents. And I just want to understand if this is a mistake, or how can you say that I'm also LTC?
Yes, at that point, when I did advise that officer, you're LTC, I was incorrect. Due to totality of everything in that moment, you're right. The other gentleman was LTC. You were not LTC. But I did state that to Officer Smith.
And you also said that I was very aggressive. Can you just let me know which part I was aggressive, except when you told me to get out of the phone? And
Your demeanor was not the same as the other driver. Very aggressive could have been an overstatement when I said very. I should have said more like you weren't completely cooperative. I should have used something like that.
okay, thank you. You can continue.
Right hand, which makes sense. And I can feel on the other side of his pants leg a needle syringe kind of underneath this in his waist.
You just mentioned again you felt it in my pants, like you just heard it. You felt a needle. Was this again a mistake, or just?
You know, I don't recall. I know it explains a little bit on video. I still don't recall verifying that you have the insulin needle attached to your body. I know I pat you down on that side. I'm looking for a syringe. Whether I verified it then or if I verified it a couple minutes from now, I can't recall. And then I would have to listen to the verbiage again right then of what I exactly told Officer Smith on the needle, if I had found it at that point, or...
You said you felt it in my
Okay,
pants.
so then if that's what I said in the video, then that's what occurred. Then I felt it probably because I ended up pulling your shirt up, I believe, later to where I could see it. So I believe what I'm trying to say is, as I was doing a pat of your outer clothing, kind of your shirt, that I was able to feel something. And I'm putting things together as of the diabetic part of it, of things that you said, things I've kind of collected of, okay, maybe this gentleman truly is diabetic. Because we run into people that say they're diabetic that are not.
Okay, my question is, when you was patting me down, you pulled my keys from my pocket and you put them away. And when you just said right now that you felt a needle, why you didn't pull it if you felt it? If you thought that maybe it's not for diabetes, why you didn't pull it out?
Because at the point that I determined that the device was a diabetic device,
No, I didn't say it was a device. I said it was a needle.
Sure. So again, when I was patting you down, I was looking for a syringe. At the point that as I'm collecting information and determined that it was a medical device. It didn't, at that point, I believed it was no harm to me and that it was beneficial for you to retain that. If I thought it was going to hurt me at that point, then it would have been a different story. But I felt it was no longer a threat once I was able to determine it was a diabetic medical device.
We can continue. Thank you.
But I didn't dig it out or anything, so I know. Yeah, well, the video, the witness, this guy here, everybody's story matches. This guy in the blue, I mean, at the very minimum, he's getting tickets, but he wasn't listening to anything I had to say. But I do need to get the other two people. So really, the main thing I need to do, just watch this guy in the black, kind of give a vibe of what you think, and then see if you can get the two other witness information while I go to my car and try to get all the information together. Do what, man? I'm not going to fill out forms. I'm going to let them exchange information. I'm going to get the information, insurance information for the blue truck for this guy, so he has it, and I'll let him take a picture. I'm going to help them exchange. Unit 1 is going to be blue truck. So it's going to be Unit 1. So there's probably a gun in this truck, just FYI. Mom and Dad haven't, I'm just assuming Mom and Dad, they haven't been aggressive, but...
What makes you think that I have a gun in the truck when you said that?
Okay, so again, I made a mistake earlier. During everything that was going on, I did confuse you with the as being the licensed LTC holder when it was the other driver. So at this point, again, due to totality of everything, I did get confused at that point that the other gentleman was an LTC, and then that you weren't.
Okay, thank you.
Just really keep an eye on him. I haven't searched the truck or anything. It went really fast, but really just watch that guy. He's handcuffed, and that's it. To 1931. Sorry it's taking so long. It's just kind of how it is right now. Hey, why don't you go ahead and take a picture of this driver license info? And then I'm going to give you this business card. This is going to be the report number 2021-21931. And then he's got Progressive County. Here's the policy number. That's just another reference number, which is the same as that one. That's just his last plate number too. So that's his last plate number, Progressive policy number.
I hadn't even got into that. He was upset and
Oh yeah, yes. I hear you, bro. So just give me one more second, and then I'll try to get you out of here, buddy. Yeah, that's fine.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. All right, that'll work for that. So, what kind of insulin do you take?
Man, I'm a little upset. I mean,
What do you mean?
I take two insulins. I take Levemir and I take Novolin R.
Okay.
And CVS used to be my pharmacy, but then I switched to Walgreens. So,
Okay.
and I have that. I mean, do you want to know all my diseases? Or
Well, no, I'm just trying to. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to figure out why you got a needle or syringe in your waistband.
to track my blood glucose.
Okay, so is it a syringe or no?
It's a needle on my. I mean, you can.
Can I look at it?
Yeah. Oh,
So it's thin. It was thin here.
no, just pull.
Just pull your shirt up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my abdomen. Don't see it.
Up here, abdomen. Okay.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's not a needle. That's not a syringe.
Well, I didn't say it's a branch.
Well, I know, but I asked you.
No, I said I have something, and you asked. So that confirms that your expectations was to find actually a real syringe, correct?
Correct.
And when you saw this and you said, that's not a needle, it's like that's not what you was expecting. But I have actually the box with me. I can show you it's a needle, just so we can separate the difference between a needle and a syringe. Even it looks like it's a medical device, but she was not aware that I had a medical device before that. It is a needle in my body. Can I show it? I have it.
It's just not, it's not relevant, but
Okay.
if you want to show it, that's perfect.
If I have something in my body, I said I have just my.
Well, I just asked you, is it a syringe?
It's a needle. That's how we.
Okay, all right. So that's what he's saying.
Into your stomach.
Okay.
And you just put your.
All right.
That's where that car
No,
is.
no. I got. No, he hit me in the side.
On that side's got damage. Do you want to go ahead and take him in handcuffs for me, sir?
Said my breath. I would just.
Okay.
Can I put my hands in my pocket or?
I prefer you didn't. Do you want to take a picture of this guy's info?
Yeah.
So you have it?
You asked Mr. Smith to take the handcuffs off, and I just want to say that I had those handcuffs for over 16 minutes, and when Mr. Smith arrived there, we was having a conversation for a little while, and I understand that so basically you call that your traffic stop. correct?
What's the question?
The question is, when a police officer detains someone, or when like there's an interaction like this, that's basically your traffic stop.
Yes.
And another officer cannot and detain me unless you ask him to, correct?
No, that's not correct. Officer Smith's a supervisor, so
I know
he has-
that, but you told him he can take the handcuffs off, and he did.
Yes. We work, officers work together, so if he asked me to take handcuffs off, he would. If I asked him, he will. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
To calm her down.
Yes. And just make it quick and then just get off the phone, sir.
Okay, he just handcuffed me because he thought I had a gun or something. We're good now. So I'm gonna take a picture of the driver license of that guy and that we should be. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. I will ask for that. Well, I guess I can ask for video. Hey, I will talk to you after I get done, okay? I'm by CBS. They're gonna leave soon.
Hey man, take care of this license so we can get this guy out of here.
Can I get, does he have insurance too?
Yes. Yes, he does. And as soon as you take a picture of that, we can get back here and he can pull up on his phone. You can take a picture of his. I've already given him information on yours. I've got his phone number. Oh, got it. Yeah, that worked great. Sorry.
Just after whatever you change
Yeah, just 1 second and I'll have that.
So you was in the process of giving me a citation. How often do you give a citation in a minor accident? Because that's what the first officer, I think his name was Hutchins, when he made contact with me, he asked me if I was injured, and I said no, and then he reported to the dispatch, it's a minor accident. How often do you give a citation in a minor accident?
I would say probably 40 to 50% of the time a citation's issued.
So you think I deserved that citation when the other guy was brake checking me, or you just, how did you determine that? Because I watched the full video and basically you didn't make your mind yet, because you said you was not going to make a report, but still through this video you still didn't make your mind yet until you gave me the citation, and then you said, yes, I'm going to fill a police report. So I just want to know, like, how do you determine if you give someone a citation, if they, like, how do you do that?
Well, it's officer discretion, but I take in the totality of everything going on. At this point, I believed you did not feel, I feel citations are issued to help rectify the violation. And so in this case, I felt like that you still felt like you did nothing wrong. And so therefore, to help correct, the violation, a citation is usually issued.
Okay, thank you.
Officer, do it.
Was your dash cam recording?
Yes. So what you need to do is do an open records request. You go down to City Hall and just do an open records request. All right, brother. So here you're going to be issued one ticket today for changing lanes when unsafe. Number to the courts is right here. And you contact those courts within 15 days. You get your signature right here by this X by this line. Without signing, it's not an admission of guilt. Just promise to contact the courts.
I'm
doing an action report, yeah.
Do you have any follow-up questions?
No, ma'am.
The officer will be readily excused.
Yes.
Thank you. You are readily excused.
Thank you.
Next witness.
It's my turn.
Who's your next witness?
I don't have any witness.
Do you want to give a statement?
Yes.
Okay. You can do it from there. What was the any objection from doing it there?
I do not have any objection. However, if I do have any questions, it would be better for him to be in the witness box.
I think, yeah, if she has any questions, she's gonna be able to question you if you're a person. She has the ability to question you. I think for the jury's sake, let's do it. There, that way they can. You haven't been sworn in, so last you raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give before the lawyer. See, you go ahead and make a statement.
November 10th, 2021, I left Lowe's. I purchased some stuff and I have a receipt. I always get a receipt, an electronic receipt and a paper receipt. It has the date and time if you guys want to verify that. And while I was driving to leave, the tractor trailer, he exited the highway 80 and the other driver was behind him. And it's only a distance of 50 feet to 100 feet and the line is solid. So, and I was seeing him. So when he brake checked me twice and the accident happened, the way it happened, actually, he did a pit maneuver. I said that early. And I was hoping that I brought a video explaining how you do actually a pit maneuver, even though police already know how they do it. But I was denied to play that video. And I also just want to show some things. When the witness said that she was driving behind me, I have the pictures that shows she did a U-turn. And the only driver that was behind me was a truck. I said it was a truck, and you guys can see these pictures. Let me show them to you first.
Are you gonna?
Yes.
Is there any objection?
Yeah, this is her making a U-turn in this.
Yeah, that's more than, and I'm gonna write in the back, let's do D1.
We do have stickers, Your Honor.
Oh, do?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are they? Yes, yes. Let's mark it. They will be admitted.
Yeah. I want to say that just in April, by the end of April, I spent over $7,000 on that truck between tires and rims and a lift. And just to think about me try to be in a wreck, I don't think that's, the case, because the other driver did a pit maneuver when he hit the rear tire. Sorry. He hit my rear tire, and I told the officer when I passed him, I lost control of the vehicle, and then I was looking what's going on. While I was looking, even the truck was turning around. I didn't understand it. So even that moment while I was giving my statement to David Holman, I was disoriented, and my adrenaline was spiking. And I told him I took insulin in the morning, and there's a part of the video when I showed him that my sugar was very high, and he said, "Do you need to eat?" And I said, "No." And usually when you take insulin, your sugar, blood glucose goes low. It's supposed to go low, but then when you get the adrenaline spiked and all that trauma, it goes up. And I was also traveling with my dad and my mom that was visiting from Morocco, and I'm not near to be aggressive person or near to cause any trouble, because I travel outside of the country and I like my records to be clean and stay clean. And getting a citation, that's where it makes things a little bit more difficult. One after one. I realized that since I got my Dodge Charger SRT. It's a purple car that attracts police attention. And I realized that they follow you just, so you can do something wrong. And if I wanted to cause the accident, it will be much easier for me to hit him from behind. I could hit him from behind, replace a bumper under $1,000 with a used one, and then I'm good. I had to replace 2 doors. I'm sorry, you have to look at this first, or? Yes, I can offer it for evidence.
Yes, yes. Do you have any objection?
This is after everything's been taken out.
Yes, I had to replace 2 doors. That's the damage, and I can.
So we will.
Actually, Your Honor, may I see the backs though?
We can add this one in evidence too, just to show, like, it's a metal bumper.
The only issue I have is these are not date stamped. We have no idea if these pictures were taken because of this accident or any other accident.
I can prove it. Like, in my phone, there's a date and text messages between the body shop that did the repairs.
So if you actually show something on your phone, your entire phone has to be. Yeah, so I'm just going to stipulate that these have no dates on them whatsoever, so we're not sure. I'll let you show the pictures. I mean, I don't want to be rude, but we need to stipulate that we don't know what dates. Okay.
We're gonna mark these as defendants 4, 5, and 6. And let me ask, when did these pictures take? When was this picture?
Your Honor, we have no way of proving. I mean, I understand that he's testifying. I just want the stipulation that the jury is not going to know exactly when those pictures were taken. Otherwise, I'm going to object to them being admitted at all.
The only thing I can say that can prove it is that I never was in an accident, and that's my first accident. So for the truck to be fixed, that's the period that it happened.
He can testify to that after.
Then exhibits 4, 5, and 6 will be included. These to the jury.
I have a picture when I did the purchase. It shows the when I spent the money for the truck.
Are you asking for that to be admitted?
Yeah, we can.
Please.
That's when
These are new tires?
that's when the date. I told them I spent over $6,000 or $7,000 for the left and tires. You know, that's just a few months before the accident.
This is before the accident.
Yes, these are before the accident, just to show that you can't spend this much money and then try to cause an accident. It's right there. You know, you can see the tires and rims, so that proves that.
Just put this one in because you have the dates.
Okay.
Right, then defendants.
Yes, I'm looking through it. And just, sorry, can I give a statement, then I can give those as.
Yes.
Thank you. The next pictures I have is, so basically I have a dash cam, the front dash cam and a rear dash cam in my truck. And the front dash cam is lifted 6 foot. It's higher than me. It's in the center mirror. And if I have it pointed centered, I will get the plastic where that mirror is holding, so I don't get a good view. I have it tilted all the way to the left, and the left side always looks like I'm in the left lane. You know, I'm like crossing the lane, then it does look from the right side. And I have some pictures here that will show you when me and David Holman had that conversation. I invited him to my truck and to show him the video. I turned on my truck, and at that moment it started recording in the front. And you want to look at them? They have the dates.
You want to tell them what is it that you're showing?
Yes, so this was from the inside of the truck. When we was having the conversation, he has the date and time. And if you guys look here, you can see that this white lane, it looks like I'm close to the road or under the road, you know, I'm touching. Based on his investigation, he thought that I was already in the left lane. And I had, when I was actually in the road under the bridge, right at that moment when he hit tire. And then I also have a picture when my wife pulled over later, because it's off from the phone, and she was waiting and she got scared, so you know she couldn't go back to work. But I did the measurements. The tire is not touching the lane. The measurements from here to you can see the license plate a little bit. It's 24 inches. So that will give you just an estimate. And I also have a bigger picture that hopefully will. That just showed the truck close to the lane. It's a white truck with white tires, and it's put together so you can give an idea. Okay. All of them. They're all the same, but some of them are more clear than the other ones.
Okay, and we don't have any.
That's his car, actually. That was taken from his car.
It's saying that it's like.
That's from his dash cam.
From the dash.
Yes.
Okay, but
If we go and look at the video right now, we can see that. I mean, if we finish the video, we can see that even his body cam where he was walking.
I understand, but I don't. Is I get that for?
Mentions. I have no way of knowing if you have stretched these pictures out, I think that's getting shipped.
So. I think better with video, right, on all of this video, that's already.
And was this an indication? Yes, because I don't know. See, there's pieces cut out, like actual screening, not all of the tape, you know, all of that.
That's just how we planned it.
I understand that, and therefore this may be tweaked a little bit, it's different than what we've seen on our video.
But it's in video.
And you understand the jury can take this in
My dash cam.
Right.
This one.
It's in evidence.
and they can watch it again.
Yeah.
As from your,
Yes. Not that. This one's for.
I understand you.
it's the same thing, it's like, it's just the world reference.
Okay, I will try my best.
No, that's okay. Keep going with your statement.
So the dash cam I have in my truck is actually like a GoPro. It's a 170-degree wide angle. And what it makes the view look like, it stretches the view. I don't stretch the view. The camera and the dash cam does it. The front one is 170 degrees. And I can Google it right now and you can see the specification for that dash cam. And the rear one is 140 degrees wide angle. And the way I have them set up is the rear one is right in the license plate. It's like 32 inches above the ground. And the one that's in the front, it's like 6 foot high, higher than me. I mean, you can see it when you walk by. The difference is the one that's in the rear is centered because he also works as a rear view camera. And the one in the front, like I said, it's not centered because if I have it centered, I get the plastic because it's a wide angle. I get the plastic from the rear view mirror that's holding it. All I will say is that I am for law and order, and we need law and order. We just need to hold people accountable and officials accountable to keep that difference between, you know, someone doesn't abuse their power and just use the color of law to discriminate you or race profile you or give you a citation. That's not right. We need justice, real justice. And this may be a little bit confusing, but if you guys just do more research on YouTube, you will find there is a video about what's going on in this.
I'm sorry, this is relevant.
Okay.
Going outside the bounds of this trial.
Okay. I will say that when the other driver did the brake check, I was trying to avoid that. You know, I could hit him from behind. And I have it that he's the reckless driver. I read that this morning. And actually I supposed to be in that right side lane because I was going to Bar Springs, so I was going to make a right turn at the stoplight by the racetrack, and then I was going to go to take 20 to go to Bar Springs. When he did that pit maneuver, when he hit the tire, I don't know if I submitted that or not, but I also have damages. I didn't show the damages that happened in the truck because there's a lot of them. But when he hit the rear tire, I didn't even feel that. Like, I didn't feel that impact until just my truck was coming to his side, and then it was sliding. You can hear all the tires are squealing in the road. And when I looked, I could see the tire marks, but I couldn't take a picture because his car, if we can look at the video, if you guys remember, he had damage from the front of his car, like the front bumper and the side of the panel by his tire too. And so he hit the tire and I lost control, and then we got to a stop. When we got to a stop, that will answer your question, Mr. Holman, that how did the impact happen to the door? He was pushing me, and he stated this morning in his testimony that he felt or he saw my truck lifted from the ground. Just think about over 6,000 pounds truck lift with 3 people, 3 adults, to be lifted from the ground, and our speed was like under 20 miles, 17, 18, and it will go low to like 5 miles. He didn't try to avoid the accident. I was trying to avoid the accident. I was not traveling in lane 2. I avoided the accident. And like I said, it will be cheaper for me to just, I didn't even have to deal with the insurance, because you know what this causes? It causes problems for me, because when David Holman give me a citation, that makes the other driver in favor with the insurance. What David Holman's supposed to do in that time, this is my opinion, is the reason I called 911, I was the first one calling 911, because when he started calling me names, and he said, just call the police, I said, okay, well, he doesn't want to talk anymore. So let me call the police so he can help us exchange information. Let the insurance adjuster do the work. Let the insurance adjuster do the investigation. Because when they're going to look at the damages, how it happens, they're going to determine, and then they're going to ask for more evidence, and then we can give evidence. When I tried to contact my insurance, they denied me. They said there's a police report against you, so it's your fault. You know, think about this happening to other people. Just think about this happening to maybe an old person or someone that may be slow. I mean, I'm slow in my brain, but I'm not slow in my body. So when I tried to avoid the accident, I did try to avoid the accident because I don't want to cause an accident. I have my dad and my mom with me. Do I need to put them through that? And they was terrified. This is the first time they came here, and they was terrified when David Holman was holding me, and he said that early, that he had to lift my arm when I didn't do anything. I didn't resist. Just how can you determine that I'm aggressive and all those things? And you know, he lied more than one time, but that's different. It's pending in the federal court, so that's separate. But I'm just here today because I don't want other people to be victims of other people who do this brake check. And do I need to submit that, Your Honor, as evidence, or the reckless driving when I would read it?
Your Honor, he did read it into evidence for the jury. I haven't authenticated it. I'm going to take his word for it. We didn't look it up, but he did read it into evidence.
Okay. When you can prove, you know, that's why I called David Holman. And I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't call you in person. I called the police. I called the police because I wanted them to understand and, you know, help other people understand that what you did is your fault. You just have to admit it. If I hate you and it's my fault, I will say it. I'm not afraid to pay a citation, but I don't want to pay a citation or go to my records that I didn't do. And even David Holman, in that moment, he said he can brake. If I hit him from behind, it was going to be my fault. And then if I try to cut him off, I don't need to cut him off. I just want to go away. I want to avoid being behind that guy. He's dangerous. He did it the first time. You know, sometimes you drive on the highway and you see the same thing. Someone will slam in their brakes. But if it happened one time, we can say maybe it was a mistake. You didn't pay attention or you looked at your watch, your phone or something. But if you do that the first time and you do that the second time, and then you have to think, am I safe behind this guy? Or do I need to avoid him and just go? And I also have a motorcycle driving license. And what I learned through that, I took a safety course. They say a motorcycle cannot brake as quick as a car because you're going to lose control or you're going to slide in the ground. So they teach us how to swerve instead of braking. And that's what I did. And I was trying to explain that to David Holman, but he said, no matter what, if I hit him from behind, it was going to be my fault. And just the way the accident happened, I didn't try to cut him off. I was trying to go away. And then he hit my tire and made my whole vehicle. You know, it was so confusing for me to understand that in the beginning, because even my statement, I said, in the video, I said that I didn't know what happened. And I was looking in the side just to understand what happened. So I was losing control. And to lose control of a 6,000 pounds truck with 3 adults, think about it. If I wanted to cut him off and I hit him, he will go to the bridge. The accident won't make me, how am I going to hit him and make my truck like this way? Like blocking both lanes, and he's in his own lane and blocking both lanes. If I hit him, I am going to push him to the bridge, or we're just going to push each other. But I'm not going to lose control. We may hit and then come back. It depends, you know, if I wanted to be aggressive or no. But when he hit me, I can hear, you know, they say something about my engine being revving. That truck is loud. Just like I said, when I started, it's loud by itself. When he hit me, and we are going like 17, 18 miles per hour, he pushed me so much that he was actually, I will say he was mean to make that accident look so bad. He was pushing me until he couldn't push me anymore, because my truck was squealing the tires until it came to an end stop. And I told that to the dispatch when I called 911. I told them my truck turned off. I don't know if his car was drivable. And I know everybody has something to do today, and actually today is my son's birthday, and I'm here too, but I won't hold you for long, and I just hope everybody think, and you know, I like facts. I have a lot of proof here. There's things that I can show, and there's things that I cannot show. I understand that, but I am full with rule of law, and I am for justice. Thank you. Thank you all. Yes,
Ms. Smith, any questions?
No, ma'am, I do not have any questions.
Do you have any other?
no, Your Honor.
Go ahead. Any rebuttal?
No, Your Honor.
Rest of close.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. It is 2:16. Why don't we take a 15-minute break and come back to the
Closing arguments.
closing arguments? Okay.
All right.
Take a 15-minute break. Stretch our legs. Yes, please. Okay, we're here for you. All right. So this time is going to have an opportunity to give a public statement. And then after that, Mr. Locke will.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We're back. I was great.
Thank you all again for being here today. And thank you for your patience. Maybe we got pulled into the screens. So I want to go back to more dire, the one slide that we had about the elements of this. So, we are on Municipal ballots. To this defendant, Mr. Loftus, on November 10th, 2021, was he operating a moving vehicle? Was he moving that vehicle in an unlawful way to the was it unsafe? And I believe that based on the videos that you have, Mr. Loftus on dash cam, testimony from Mr. Chille and from Ms. Saldana, that we definitely have shown each one of these evidence on video. Mr. Chille driving in front of Mr. Loftus. So sorry, Lofty. Driving down the surface road. We have a long flatbed trailer that's beside them, or was actually beside Mr. Chille. And as they are turning under 80, you can see that Mr. Chille puts on his brakes for fear that that flatbed trailer is going to come into this lane. You can immediately hear Mr. Lofty put on his horn, and rev up. As you continue to go around the corner, Mr. Chille puts on his brakes again, and that's when Mr. Lofty decides to come around Mr. Lofty's to the left-hand side. And within his own dash camera, you see him not safely move in front of Mr. Chille, causing an accident. All of those elements fit within changing lanes to be unsafe. And I believe that all you do is Mr. Lofty and you find ranges between 1 and 2 dollars. I don't see any other solution or inclusion.
Mr. Lofty, closing statement.
I just want to say that I didn't change lane and I was trying to avoid the accident. And I proved already that Mr. Scorchia lied in his testimony to David Holman and also the witness when she said she was behind me. And I showed there's a truck behind me and she made a U-turn. David Holman escalated things instead of trying de-escalating. And I never was mean to him. He just didn't like the way I spoke to him. And it is what it is, you know. You don't pick the day when you get an accident, I guess, except if you planned for it. And Mr. Scorchia definitely planned for it, but that's what happened. Thank you.
These are all instructions you can get. These instructions are given to you as part of the secretary stands as witnesses, part of the attorney, and even myself. It's important if it should out at anybody's disregarding any instruction, and if you during the contact, then will result in a penalty to again. If anybody observes anybody in injury violating the instructions, just let them know. Please listen carefully as I read the charge. The original will be placed on the table and the jury room for its entirety to deliberations. The defendant, Younes Lafdi, stands charged by complaint the office of change lane for unsafe, alleged to have been committed in the territorial limits of the city of Forney, Coffee County, Texas, on or about the 10th day of November 2021. To this charge, the defendant has pled not guilty. It is alleged that on or about the 10th day of November 2021, within the territorial limits of the city of Forney, Coffee County, Texas, the defendant did and there operate a motor vehicle on a public street, 2A, in 300 block of North FM 548, and did unlawfully move the vehicle to the left or right of the roadway when such movement could not be made safe. If you believe that the defendant did drive or operate a motor vehicle to the left or right of the roadway when such movement could not be made safe,
then you will find the defendant guilty. If you do not believe or have reasonable doubt thereof, you will acquit the defendant and say by your verdict, not guilty. All persons are presumed innocent, and no person may be convicted of an offense unless each element of the offense is proven beyond a reasonable doubt. The fact that a person has been arrested, confined, indicted for, or otherwise charged with an offense gives rise to no inference of guilt at trial. The law does not require a defendant to prove innocence or produce any evidence at all. The presumption of innocence alone is sufficient to acquit the defendant. It is not required to be shown that the defendant intended or had knowledge of the facts, omissions, or conditions which constitute the offense with which the defendant is charged in order to be guilty of the offense. Therefore, if you believe beyond a reasonable doubt that the offense occurred, you must find the defendant guilty. The prosecution has the burden of proving the defendant guilty and must do so by proving each and every element of the offense charged beyond a reasonable doubt. It is not required that the prosecution prove guilty beyond all possible doubt. It is required that the prosecution's proof excludes all reasonable doubt concerning the defendant's guilt. Should you believe beyond a reasonable doubt that said defendant on or about the 10th day of November 2021 within the territorial limits of the city of Forney, Kaufman County, Texas, did then and there operate a motor vehicle on a public roadway within the 300 block of North FN 548 and did unlawfully move the vehicle to the left or right of the roadway when such movement could not be made safely. If you believe that the defendant did drive or operate a motor vehicle to the left or right on the roadway when such movement could not be made safe, you shall find the defendant guilty and assess a fine. The fine amount must be set by the free opinion of each individual juror within the range permitted by law, that being a fine of not less than $1 and not more than $200. Should you find that the prosecution did not prove the guilt of the defendant beyond a reasonable doubt, you must return a verdict of not guilty. You are to restrict your deliberations solely to evidence admitted at trial and the law which is contained in the court's instructions. You are instructed that you are not to allow bias, prejudice, or sympathy to play any part of your deliberation. No juror is permitted to communicate to any other juror concerning anything heard regarding either the case or any witness therein from any source other than the witness stand. After the closing arguments, you are going to retire to the jury room and select one of your members as a presiding juror. It is the duty of the presiding juror to preside over your deliberations and to vote with you in arriving at a verdict. Your verdict must be unanimous. In deliberating on the case, you are not to refer to or discuss any matters or issues not placed in evidence before you, nor shall you talk about the case to anyone not of your jury. After reading this charge, you will not separate from each other until you reach the verdict. During your deliberation, should you wish to communicate with the court, you may only do so in writing. Do not attempt to talk to the bailiff, the attorney, the court, or anyone else concerning any questions you may have. And for that, I've got a question sheet that will be included with the charge. When you have arrived at your verdict, all of you will return to this courtroom and report your verdict to the court through the presiding juror. It's signed and issued by me on today's date. And then you also have a verdict form that the foreperson will fill out that has results. So the first thing that you're going to do is appoint a presiding juror. And again, your verdict must be unanimous.
All rise.
New one?
The new one?
Yeah, in Gateway. It's like four something, 4. Bus like 4:30.
Yeah, thank you. The, school, and many more elementary school, so I couldn't make it out. Make it out from the, that's all I remember. Oh, and Jean, yeah, we were dealing with that. And so. And I will read the verdict. We, the jury, find the above-named defendant guilty as charged in the complaint and assess a fine of $200. And I will ensure this. And does anybody want to hold the jury? Then, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate your service. And you are dismissed.
You need to get
Same thing. If y'all need any work excuses or anything of that nature, it will see the link up in the front. Thank you so much. And so the judgment that's $200. So Mr. Lafdi, with the fine, there's court cost of $139, so that's gonna make a total of $339. Do you have a job? If not, do you have a means of which you're gonna be able to pay this fine and court cost? We can do a payment plan. Let's look at do you think you can, we're going to do a payment plan? I'll let the set up there. I'll see if we do it, if I say we get all this paid off.
I just need like 2 months probably.
Okay, I was gonna say, we're in August, if I put it, we say, we're paid off in 120 days, that would keep me able to do that, okay. Make sure. Then what we'll do, there will be, there's a $15 fee for setting up the payment plan. It's just the way it works. So that'll bump you up to right at $350. But you do that, set it up, where you can pay it all off. And how it works for monthly fees, bi-monthly, weekly, whatever works for your budget. Then we are off the record at 2:15